Hi guys, this is Onkar from Wedding Entrepreneur Academy, and in today's video who I'm interviewing has got over 40 years experience. Yep, let me repeat that again, 40 years experience. This is a video that if you want to know the lessons that he's learned over 40 years to be where he is, to be a very successful wedding entrepreneur, then this is a video you definitely need to watch. Okay, so who am I interviewing today? I am interviewing the great Roger Knight. He's a celebrant, a Toastmaster, and a wedding DJ. He's been in the industry for over 40 years, and I had the honor of interviewing him today in a Skype interview chat, trying to get the lessons about the do's and the don'ts of starting a wedding business and understanding your worth. This video really resonated with me, and I knew I was right to get him on the show to speak to you wedding entrepreneurs about how to price right, how to have confidence, and how to really get above, as he calls it, the analogy of the free tier cake, where he's on the top tier of charging great money for great service. This video is only about an hour long, but trust me, trying to learn in 1 hour what he learned in 40 years is so super important. The connection wasn't great, but trust me, you can still hear him, me interviewing him, and basically seeing his version of how to run a successful wedding business. So stay tuned and keep watching, and I'm going to introduce you now to Roger Knight. Hi guys, this is Onkar from Wedding Entrepreneur Academy, and as an introduction I have got the famous, the only one, Roger Knight, your wedding guy. He's a celebrant, Toastmaster and DJ. Yes, he does all that, and I think he does a bit more. Welcome Rog to the podcast interviewing the wedding experts. How are you, my friend?
I'm okay, thank you Onkar. I'll say hello to everybody.
Oh brilliant, God, Rog, a celebrant, a Toastmaster, and a DJ. Now, we're going to get into that story because that is multi-talented. I absolutely love that, mate. That's what you call the wedding guy, really, isn't it? Because those are kind of key things,
yeah, just been rebranded. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, man, brilliant. So, Roger's going to go to a few questions. So, the aim, obviously, is to speak to wedding entrepreneurs, because I've known Roger for about 18 months, 2 years, and he's come down to my Book More Brides course, and basically I got to know this man more and more, and he's one of the rare switched on wedding entrepreneurs who I totally respect. His business philosophy, his marketing, and the way that his enthusiasm, at the end of it, I know that all of you will be thinking, I want a bit of magic what he has. So this is why I had to get you on, Rog. So
okay, thank you.
I mean, Rog, let's start at the beginning. I mean, obviously, let's just elaborate. So obviously, who are you and what do you provide, if you go into your own words?
Okay, well, as the wedding guy, I offer something fairly unique. You are right, as much that I'm a qualified civil celebrant. I'm also an experienced wedding Toastmaster, and obviously the wedding DJ side. So as a celebrant, that creates just unique ceremonies for the marriage couple. It tends to work best as part of a registrar type wedding or a civil wedding. Okay. Whereas instead of the registrars finishing off, I come in and I create and deliver a unique, symbolic, emotional ceremony, which allows the bridal couple to really get their personalities, bit of wow factor really, because not many people see that type of ceremony. Based around something called a unity ceremony, which was very big out in North America, but I've anglicised it, as I say, and we personalise it very much to the couple. So we do things, to be honest with you, there's so many ceremonies. You can have a ceremony about anything. Yeah, so if I was to say, we've done everything from a English tea ceremony to a wine blending, sand blending. There's a unity candle ceremony. Cider, living in Somerset, we came up with a cider ceremony. So basically, yeah, it's something that leaves the guest going, wow. That's just before we even get to the reception. Yeah, and then obviously the wedding toastmaster bit, people will have their preconceived ideas about what a wedding toastmaster does, and then they meet me.
Okay.
I'm a bit more fun, yeah. Pay respect to the history. There's 300 years of history behind a wedding toastmaster.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm there to make sure the bridal couple and their guests have a great time. So, and of course, the wedding DJ thing, I've been doing that probably longer than most of the people listening have been alive. So it's my 39th year this year. So
wow.
The DJing side of things is
39 years. Listen,
something I've always done.
39 years.
Yeah, I did my first gig in Merthyr Tydfil in 1978.
Oh wow!
How was that?
And you got something really. This is something that stood out from the normal DJ. I don't know if you got pictures or something. If I can, I'll try to put it in. You got it's the what is it that makes your DJ unique? Because I'll put a link obviously to whatever this is, so you can see Roger's website. But what is unique about your services for DJ side?
Well, with the discos, I got fed up of looking like everybody else. And the trouble is, there are so many technically good DJs out there now that I decided to go down a different route. And again, living in Somerset helps. I'm doing marquee weddings and stuff. I came up with something that we call the Rustic Disco Company, or the Rustic Disco. And that's based around something called the Love Shack, which is basically... the working title was called the Wed Shed, so that gives you some idea of what it is. It looks like a bit like a garden shed. In fact, if I can just go off screen for 2 seconds, I will show you a lovely big picture of it. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, go on. Oh, this is exciting, people. Honestly, it's not just a shed. You're gonna love this. It's not.
I don't know if you can see this, Mike, but there we go. Look at that. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah. So that's kind of the look that we get. I say if you go on. So the you actually get a picture.
So you customize the shed
out of a garden shed.
So you a garden shed. You made it for a wedding, and you actually go in the shed.
Yeah. I DJ out the window in the shed.
That's absolutely brilliant.
But basically, we try and hide all the gear. I got fed up of turning up to venues and. A lot, as you know, being a venue owner, you spend a fortune on your rooms and your function rooms, all looking smart. And then the entertainers turn up with black metal frames, big horrible black lights, shove them up against your beautiful cream walls. And in my opinion, we look like a black ink spot, just making lots of noise. So the shed allows me, or the Love Shack allows me to hide an awful lot of the gear. So we actually become part of the theme. Obviously, it is aimed at your sort of boho, rustic, vintage type wedding theme.
Yeah.
All the equipment is exactly the same as everybody else. To be honest with you, it's just that it's a bit of theatre. That's the way I do it. It acts as a backdrop to the whole wedding day.
I absolutely love it.
And it's a wow factor.
It is, and that's the thing.
I always say to people, forget X factor. It's about the R factor. R and wow. The 2 words I want to hear at a wedding.
R and wow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, you get somebody going, and they'll never forget that moment, will they?
No, well, this is the thing. You're not your average DJ, and obviously, being 40 years, you've seen the industry change and everything. But this is, we'll go more into what made you, from the reason for the Love Shack. That you call it, which I absolutely love that name. That's just the way they do it. But I mean, Rog, just obviously you've been in 1979, 1978. You were saying then
1978. Did 1978. Gig on my own. Yeah.
But what? Obviously now you're full time in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
Coming in. Yeah, so. I mean, how did you get in the industry? What is it that made you go into it out of all other industries, and what made you go in there?
Well, obviously, when you start DJing, let's deal with that to start time. If you want to make a living out of DJing, you eventually discover the only way you can make a living as a proper business is by doing weddings or events. Events is a lot tougher geographically. If you're living in London, you can probably get in an event company and they can pay you sort of good money. Weddings are where the money is, to be honest with you. But I just love doing weddings because it's basically a party. I spent, a lot of my DJ career was spent in the pubs and the clubs. I worked for some of the biggest nightclub companies in the country. But the trouble is with the clubland now is that, well, to be honest, you look at me. I turn up, they think it's a great granddad turning up. So they ignore what you can do musically. And so therefore, at a wedding, my expertise is valued. And my experience is valued. Not so much my expertise, but my experience. Yeah. So when I sit down with a bridal couple, we just don't talk about the music as such, or whether I can mix, or whether I've got the latest CDJs, or any of that. I don't talk about equipment at all. I just show them some images and say, look, this is what we can do for you. How do I personalize the disco for you guys? Because the disco shouldn't be about me. There's a lot of mistakes. I've been there and done it. As a DJ, we've got egos the size of Great Britain, and we always think it's about us and our technical skills. And look at me and get your hands in the air and wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Been there, done that. As a wedding DJ, it's a completely different set of skills, in my opinion. Whereas you're actually the wedding host. You're working for that couple as a host. You'd understand it working in the venues. Yeah. I'm almost like the extra maitre d' or the conference manager or whatever they call them in the venues, or the events manager. I'm there working for the couple.
Totally agree.
DJ, Toastmaster, and unfortunately, that is the hardest message to get across, because basically, as we all know, the first question they say is how much. And then I say, well, if you're asking how much, I can't do your wedding. I'm getting that experience now where I have to turn brides away, or bridal couples away, if I don't think they can work with me, or I can work with them. So, I
want to elaborate that later, because that's something that I was, my message, not every customer is your customer, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But everyone in their wedding industry, you and me, George, you've been longer than me, and you, from your experience, people think you will take every customer, not looking at their profit, and next thing you know, you're booked up and you're just not making any money. So exactly. This is something I love to touch on, that how your experience, because again, 40 years, you can't buy that, you can't do it, you have to live through it, and this is why I got you on. I mean, Rog, come in. So I totally agree, being the host and their message, and that we're going to go into the sales and marketing part, because that is something I think that all DJs should try to elaborate. That is just absolutely spot on. I mean, I don't think I've asked this question. Where are you based, Rog?
I'm actually based just outside Yeovil in Somerset.
Yeovil.
So how sort of Taunton area.
Taunton. So how far do you go?
Well, to be honest with you, I am greedy. I'll go wherever the money goes. But at the moment, I'm very, very fortunate that as the wedding guy, I really don't have to travel more than about 25 miles, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Which is, there's an awful lot there's a great saying goes around the industry, not in my backyard. And I've got DJ friends of mine, really good friends of mine. Some of these guys have been doing it 25, 30 years, telling me that they cannot get the money I charge. And I'm like, well, I'm getting it in the same venues, in the same town. Yeah. I mean? It's very easy to talk yourself down in any industry, not just the wedding industry. To say, oh, they won't pay more than that. I'll never get more than, I don't know, what's the we call them 80 quid SIDS in the, but I'm not going to get more than 120, 250 quid. Well, I'm getting 4 times that.
I mean, this is, but it doesn't come overnight. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you have to over-deliver on everything. Yeah? You can't sit back and say, do you know what? I've just earned 4 figures. I'll just turn up. You can't just do that. You have to become part of their wedding. And it doesn't matter whether, I don't care whether you're a florist, a photographer. People buy from people. And people trust people. They don't trust gear. They don't trust technology. They're buying from you. And if you cannot over-deliver, then just become a general run-of-the-mill DJ working for an agency. One of the best analogies, Onkar, I had of the wedding DJ industry, let's deal with the wedding DJ thing, is that we describe it as a wedding cake. Okay.
Yeah? A 3-tier wedding cake. So you have the base, very big, solid base. And these guys would be the guys who are working for the agencies out there. Yeah, the companies, the multi-ops as we call them.
Yeah.
And those DJs are probably, I'm being general here, I'll probably get slaughtered now by my colleagues, but they would be working for agencies for a couple £100 a month. They never get to meet the bride. They never, they just turn up, they have a playlist, they play the music. And you'll get the, let's hear it for the bride and groom. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their names,
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
I've seen
massive market out there. Certainly at a venue, you'll have seen all these types. And then you get the second tier of guys, and these will tend to be the smaller multi-op guys, or maybe got 3 or 4 DJs working with them, or they'll be the single guys, the owner-operators. And they would then spend a little bit more time dealing with the couple on a personal level. And that's a smaller market. Then you get to the top tier, of which I consider myself one. And I can spend, my bridal couples get unlimited access to me. Yeah, unlimited. If they want to come up to the office or they want me to go and see them every day of the week for 3 months, that's what we'll do. We'll make the time for them. Planning the wedding with them, just planning the music, just getting the music playlist together, making sure that we get the right stuff. There's so much work goes in at my level, because don't forget, when you're on that top tier, shall we say, you're competing with guys who are capable of doing what you're doing. Yeah? I love it when I come up against somebody from the bottom tier, because they cannot do what I do. Never, ever, ever, because they don't want to. One of my best friends here in Yeovil has got a contract with a local venue. Let's just say the venue is known for its 995 weddings. Yeah? He's never going to earn the money I get.
Well,
He's always astonished.
I mean, think how is he going to make your money, which you said 4 times, which is a hell of a lot for a DJ, and that's why I got you on. If the wedding's going for 995, if he's asking for more, how is he going to, that just makes straight there.
Yeah. Well, because what he does, he accepts the money, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because that venue might give him 4 weddings a week. Yeah? Let's just say at £250. Yeah? A gig. Let's just say, I know he's not getting that, by the way, but let's just say, yeah, he's getting his £250. So he works 4 nights a week for his £1,000. He also has a full-time job, so he doesn't really have time to deal with the brides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the conference manager or the events manager or the wedding coordinator is doing all the work, and all she's doing is picking up the phone and saying, "Hello, Bert, I've got another wedding for you. It's Roger and Charlene. They're getting married. They want first dance of Ed Sheeran, and they give me a playlist." He's not in control of the wedding at all. He just turns up, does his job, goes home. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. I got very bored of it. I've been there, done it. I've done the agencies. But what you understand is, it's like, what will happen is, and I know this happens in this particular venue, if he gets somebody saying, I want you to do my wedding in a different venue for £350, he'll put what we call a boy in. Yeah? He'll just say, can you do the disco for me? Never seen the guy work? Yeah? And that's all. This guy is actually verging on in between bottom and third and second tier. When I first met him, he was definitely bottom tier. I nudge him along because he's a cracking technical DJ, lovely guy, just didn't value himself. He didn't put the value. His words to me were, I can't get more than £150. And I said, well, I'm getting 4 times that in your venue. I do 3 or 4 weddings a year in that venue where they maybe have got a 995 package. But what they don't realise is they might be saving it on venue, which gives them more budget to spend elsewhere. Yeah? They might only want 50 guests, because obviously, as you know, if it's a 995 wedding, it's normally based around 50, 55 guests. Yeah? But that means if they've got 10 grand to spend on their wedding, they've got another 9 grand to spend. And as you know, Onkar, 10 grand nowadays is nothing on a wedding.
Nothing.
The average is what, 28,000 pounds spent on a wedding is the average in the UK?
Yeah, something wedding wire came something similar to that. That's with everything paid. Yeah, it's going up.
So, but as you know, 10 grand on a, I was going to say 8 grand on a wedding is nothing. That's on the lower end of the weddings. So if they've got the wedding reception for 995 or a grand, they've got money. And what you do is, I'd say I go to the wedding fairs where he's there, and I get bookings from that not from the venue. I don't get them from the venue because I don't want them. My first statement to the wedding coordinator, who was also a very good friend of mine, I said, I don't want your work. Because what? I don't want the contract. Because then I'd have to do it for another 20 quid or whatever, or undercut my mate.
Because the wedding,
I'm not in that game.
Because at the end of the day, which you're right, this is how we operate as well. We're the business as well. We want to make money from it and stuff. So we're trying to look for between technically very good and between best value. So, I mean, Rog, that's just gold nuggets. Anyone who's not taken who's in the DJ industry, generally in the wedding industry, there's one thing you need to take off that I'm just putting on here, and it's mindset and competence.
Absolutely.
It's half the battle, because your friend, from what I'm hearing, again, not to mean him in any way, but he's saying basically, I can't get 150. Well, if you can't get more than 150, you already set your plate out, you stall out already, and you believe you can't do that. So hence, it's like Muhammad Ali going and said, I'm going to go lose a fight before he goes in the ring.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. He's lost the battle before he starts.
Yeah, he's not asking the question, how can I make it? Which you, over 40 years, have basically questioned that, and look at you now. I mean, Rog, again, going to the DJ, because that's a lot of your income comes in. I want to touch on two things here. So, obviously, we looked at your Love Shack and your mindset, and here's the thing. So, in so many words, what makes you different? So, so you're the wedding guy, yeah? What I loved about you also was you diversified celebrant. Okay, so you have to technically, and I think personally that's going to come bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, because it's like whatever happens in America, we get in. I think that's going to be a big thing. So I was impressed with that. And the Toastmaster thing. Have you ever done all three in one wedding?
That's my main business.
And
people get me. I'm there all day. I do a 19, 20-hour day.
That's amazing. And so you done the DJ first, okay? What made you, from a business point, did you see the opportunity? Did you think, we'll give this a putt, or someone asked you? What made you diversify? Because what I love about it was, because if you're doing a DJ, you're out for the whole day. You can't be in two places at once. And And so basically, in that sense, from a business point of view, you said, well, how can I utilize the whole day, take my whole values? Look, I'm being a celebrant. I'm going to be a toast. What pushed you to that? Was it? I don't know. I just want to know.
It's very simple, Onkar.
Yeah.
The credit crunch of 2008.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I ended up with no job, no money. I had a little bit of savings left, and I thought, I have no pension.
Bloody hell.
Right? So I'm not that good a businessman, but no pension. I had to sell my life insurance to survive. And I thought, wow, I'm 50 years of age. What can I do? And so what I did, I invested. And this is the other word that you've got to get across to everybody. It's an investment in either in yourself or in equipment or whatever. I invested for most of my last bit of savings in being professionally trained as a Toastmaster. I went and slept in the back of my van for a week in Essex. And then attended the training for that week. And then what happened from there, one of my colleagues in the English Toastmasters Association, which is the association I belong to, mentioned this word celebrant. And I can genuinely say I'd never heard the word before. So now we're talking probably 2009, 2010, right? And I said, what the hell's that? And he said, oh, well, you can get into the funeral business. And I'm thinking, oh, well, okay. Long story short, when I was a teenager, I used to attend a lot of funerals with my departed father. And so the funeral side doesn't concern me, if you like, dealing with dead people and bereaved families. So then I investigated the celebrant world. And then again, I've been so fortunate. It's that I met some people who are in the funeral business and they recommended a company. And I can genuinely say I did spend the last of my money then going off to be trained. Another training for a week, living. I didn't actually have to live in the van this time because the accommodation was included. But I went up to Peterborough, spent a week being trained and qualified. I have an NVQ level 3 in celebrancy.
Yeah.
And it's the most intense training I've ever done. But I can tell you, on that opening day, the trainers are there, and I'm sat with, I think it was 24 of the people on the training course. And it was, why are you here? You know, they sit you the round robin, I think you guys call it. Mm. And of course, we go round and everybody's there. We've got people from on a spiritual journey. We've got Buddhists. And they get to me, and you know, they ask me to be honest, and I say, well, I'm in it for the money. And they just took them. They said, what? I said, well, it's another income stream for me. I have to survive.
It's as simple as
you
that. Yeah.
And I said, look, at the end of the day, the celebrant is my retirement because I can do that into my 80s. I said, I can't afford to retire ever, so I've got to work until I drop dead. Hopefully I won't drop dead at a funeral. But it's so, and they were blown away by my honesty to start with.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say, it's quite funny. So most of my celebrant work, even though I sell it as part of a wedding package, as a civil celebrant, 90% of your work would be in the funeral market. But what that did very quickly, Onkar, it gives me a daytime job. You know, funerals tend to be 10 till 4, Monday to Friday. What it allows me to do is to say no to the cheap midweek gigs as a DJ. I don't have to go to my local pub on a Tuesday night and listen to the same 6 singers singing those bloody awful karaoke songs. Yeah? For my 80, 100 quid. Because I can go and do a funeral. Yeah? But again, so all I've done is look at multi income streams. Yeah?
Because you valued your time. This is amazing. This is
absolutely
because you understood that your time. How can I'm the service, I'm the product, and how can I? Because I don't think, in your opinion, Rog, a lot of people don't see themselves as the product and service. They just see that, but not realizing time is the biggest asset in probably the wedding industry. If you're there, you're losing out. So £1,000 there or 200, people go for the 200, not going for the 1,000. But time doesn't care if you make £1,000 or you make £1. It's not discriminate. But you have to be aware, and you're so aware of that. That's, my God, that's just blown me away.
Well, I've learned it through necessity, Onkar, because prior to 2008, since 1978, or when I left school, but before that, I've always held down 2 jobs. The DJing, a full-time job. You know, in 2008, I was the managing director of an engineering company with a £12 million turnover, and I was still DJing, man. Right? DJing is part of my life.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the corporate world dumped me that I even started to think about my value. Because you didn't have to think. I got a monthly wage, I got a nice company car, I was doing my 80 hours a week in the office, thinking that's what you've got to do. You've got to work yourself to death to get a pension.
So you thought yourself as a hobby?
Nonsense.
So you thought it...
I was one of those hobby DJs.
And there's a lot of them, isn't it?
God, the majority of the market are hobby DJs. And there are some of my peers, I call them the DJ snobs, who devalue those hobby DJs. And I say, well, hang on. We all started off as a hobby DJ. Because if you speak to most DJs, they think they cannot make a living doing what they love. Yeah?
They don't treat it like a business. This is the whole point. They don't treat it like a business.
Because nobody's ever told them they can treat it like a business. You know, the difference is, there was a fantastic story about a couple of DJs out on there's a massive conference goes on in Vegas every year. It's called Mobile Beat. And one of my friends, well, in fact, one of my mentors, when I first decided to go into the wedding industry properly, said to me, Rog, from personal experience, went to a bar with an American DJ friend of his. 2 girls come up, believe it or not, one American, one English. Yeah, They get chatting, and they say, "Oh, what do you do?" The American guy goes, "Oh, well, I'm a wedding host. I'm a wedding DJ and host." And my mate says, "Well, and I am." The American girl was really interested in it because she treats it as a profession. The English girl just said, "Oh yeah, all up the YMCA and cheesy shit." Excuse my French.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the difference in the attitude. There is a whole movement in the UK, thank goodness, which I'm considered part of DJs are saying, "Do you know what? We're professional about what we do. We are passionate about what we do, but it has to run as a business."
Has to.
And honest to God, Olga, if you went onto some of the forums online, you will see 20-year friendships breaking up over just this one subject. Too deep. But I'll say this guy he's not the only guy. I could name 25 DJs in my locality who absolutely are incapable of finding their value. Because they've been doing it so long, it's an easy street. Don't get me wrong, if I don't do a wedding, then I don't earn let's say, for an all-day wedding, I'm on 4 figures, okay?
Yeah.
If I'm a celebrant, toastmaster and DJ, we're talking 4 figures.
Easy, yeah.
My attitude is, and maybe it's because of my age, I only want to do one wedding. On a weekend.
But that could be a USP. That could be a USP. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Look,
and that's where the wedding guy has come from. I'm targeting doing 30 weddings. In the next 2 years, I'm going to get down to only doing 30 weddings at a 4-figure sum.
How many weddings do you do
that
at
will
the
give
moment?
me the income I do.
So how much do you...
I'm probably up to about 60 at the moment.
Excellent.
Yeah?
Excellent, yeah.
So I'm halving the amount of weddings, but I'm adding money onto that 4-figure sum.
Which is the same as 60.
Yeah, exactly. So I can actually have some weekends off. Because that's the other thing. People don't realise in the wedding industry, you're giving up what a factory worker would consider the most valuable time of your life. Your family time. Yeah. So if you're married and your partner works in a hospital and you're a DJ, the only time she gets off is a weekend. So you're making sacrifices. To me, you have to put a value on that sacrifice.
See, this is what I was going to talk about. I mean, it's leading on to the next question. So obviously celebrant, so doing the funerals, which is amazing. But hey, that's an event. Obviously it's a sad time, but there needs to be people to be looked after there. A Toastmaster, which is huge as well. So you go and do the Toastmaster, and I've seen it in a lot more now, and I've seen in Asian weddings now, literally everyone. To come through, and the DJ. So you're doing all those. You charge all those individually and put it together to do a package, which is very. This is what I think your USP. People say, "Well, look at me, DJ. Why don't you have that?" Yes, because they're buying you in the Raj. Because we both agree on the same thing. That in the end, it's not your products or services; it's you. So hence that it's easy then to sell the celebrant or the Toastmaster along with the DJ. It's a lot easier.
What I discovered, Onkar, if a bride and groom are not willing to invest a half an hour of their time to meet me and talk to me, I will never do their wedding. They won't even consider me. So I've got to find those brides who want to meet me.
And this is where I was going to come into the next question, Rog. Hold that point there, because that one you said you don't do it. If someone's coming new to the wedding industry, okay? Someone's thinking and watching this and looking at this, be it whatever industry, because you've seen it all, I've seen it all, and coming through, the same philosophy applies. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting in the wedding industry? They got a clear canvas to, what advice would you give them?
Find somebody to mentor you. Whether it's, an online guru like yourself, or whether it's somebody,
or even yourself,
been there, done it. Yeah, even myself. I've got to be honest. I'm the world's worst because I'm quite parochial. But I'm not as giving as you. But and I'm not as patient as you either. But there are people out there who are doing it already. Observe them. But there's also people out there that you can go to. Yeah, okay. You might have to make a financial investment. but that will pay back. Every time I've borrowed money to go and do a conference, or borrowed money to drive to London for a DJ meeting, I've come back with a notebook full of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Which then, the trick is you have to get your personality into that business.
That's why.
Because if you're a sole trader working in any industry, I learned at a very, very young age, people buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
If you cannot get that across and identify people that you want to work with, you're quite right. One of your opening statements is you can't do every wedding. Yeah, my ego tells me that I should be doing every wedding in Somerset. Yeah, there's only 52 Saturdays, Onkar. Yeah, and if I'm saying I'm going to do one wedding a day, my maximum limit is 52 weddings a year. That's all I can do physically on a Saturday, if you think about it. And that's including Christmas and stuff, yeah? So you're actually talking 48 weeks a year. It's the only time I can earn what I call my premium money. Yeah? And so therefore, I have to find, and I struggle with this, hence why I came to you, and you have to identify that, look, you've got to find those brides who want that special occasion. Okay, I think one of the toughest wedding jobs is photography. Yeah, DJs are bad enough, but my partner Charlene is a photographer. You can't get into the wedding fairs because they've already got 7 there. Yeah, all with their IMAX on the table, all with their Canon or Nikon around their neck, showing beautiful pictures. Yeah, how the heck do you identify yourself differently? I work with Charlene quite a lot, and Charlene's one of these guys. I can't charge that. I won't get that.
And they lost before they started. Not to say that is absolutely. That's where you put your hand on your head, and I put mine. You've lost already.
Yeah. Well, the last time we met personally, Peter Black.
Amazing, isn't he?
Talk about undervalued. Yeah, that talent is worth 3 times what he's charging. Because he's got into the habit though of letting the agent value him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you allow people to, as a new person coming in now, God, now is the best time though, because there's more help out there. There's more technology. You've got videos, you've got your Facebook forums. You can ask for advice. There are more people willing to help you succeed because the English society is being influenced by the American society. It doesn't matter how many people don't like that. The Americans are much more giving. I get more advice from DJs in America than I do in the UK.
Amazing.
Yeah?
Absolutely amazing.
Give an example. I've just, blatant advert coming up here now, Onkar, right? I just created something called the WOW. 5 ways to wow your wedding guests. It's a workshop for brides, or bridal couples.
Love it.
As my next marketing ploy, okay?
This is what I was going to go to.
That ball running.
Hold that, Rog. This is the next question is, you know how important sales and marketing is. So let's go on. What are the key marketing and sales activities that you do in your business? Show me what is it that you're doing? What is the mentality? Because you and me agreed that sales and marketing is the lifeblood of the business. What is it? What's that 5 thing you're doing?
Well, basically, in every industry, there is what I call a necessary evil. For me, it's wedding fairs.
Yeah.
I cannot think of anything worse than paying a venue 200 quid for a 6-foot table and standing there for 5 hours in a meat market. Yeah, it's a jumble sale. But it's a necessary evil. But again, you don't have to do them all, because all of a sudden your investment is going out on, hello, can I help you? When's the big day? And the other 50 people in that room are all saying the same thing. And I've seen it in the short term that I did my first wedding fair 7 years ago. That's all. I didn't even know they existed there. Yeah, because I was an agent DJ and I didn't have to worry about it. And you get really excited because you'll take a booking. Wow, but you don't value. Yeah, okay, the table cost me 200 quid. If I get one booking at 250, I'm winning. What about the 5 hours stood there? Yeah? So now, I've got to be honest with you, I just look for something different. And again, one of my colleagues in America produced a workshop for brides. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's called 5 Fun and Easy Ways to Wow Your Wedding Guests. And I thought, well, that sets me apart from every other DJ I know.
Spot on. I never heard anyone, any wedding DJ do that.
No. So now, what I will do is I will approach venue. I'm just putting the finishing touches to the script for this, actually. I'll put together a 30, 40-minute workshop. It's not going to cost the brides anything. Mm-hmm. No charge for my time. But it'll be Roger DJ Night, the wedding guy, presenting. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So I got those brides for 40 minutes.
You've elevated
and yourself. I'm saying to the venues, all you have to do is let me have a room. So there's no room hire. You as a venue owner and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going on now? But if I came to you now and said, look, I've got an extra service for your bridal couples.
I love it. I'll be straight with you.
Tea and coffee.
I can use that. Look, being a venue, if I had an innovative DJ and you were close to me because I'm based in South Wales, I'll snap your hand up because knowing sales and marketing, why? I could send that off to potential new brides, advertising myself, some wedding tips. We're doing a JV together, get new brides in, you present, they see my venue, they book, and they come in. It makes sense. But why is it not enough of these? Why is not enough wedding entrepreneurs doing what we're doing and trying to be innovative, different, thinking? What is it? What do you?
They're too busy trying to pay the electric bill, Onkar. Yeah.
Do you know what it is, Roger? I remember going through the same thing, 2008. It was a hard time there, and you get in this mentality of, I just need to survive, and then when you just only have it thinking of just need to survive, and you'll take every business that happened to me, you'll be stuck in there. You have to ask the question: it's not enough just to survive. It's you have to thrive.
No. It depends what you want out of life.
Yeah.
You know. I've got to be honest with you, I'm a fairly lazy person, you know what I mean? But I can get to the stage now where I want to say to somebody, I'm going to do your wedding, and it's not going to be like anybody else's wedding. My pet hate is what I call the factory weddings, your 995s, yeah? Where you don't get to meet the DJ, you don't get to meet the florist, you just turn up, pay your money, feed 50 people, get drunk, great wedding. That's not a great wedding. No, because your guest will have been to 20 of those already. Yeah. If you're of a certain age and you're attending weddings, one of my first questions is, when I meet brides now, and to be honest with you, one of my first questions from this weekend on now is, can I ask you a question? It's Monday morning after your wedding. All your guests have gone back to work. What would you like to hear them saying about your wedding?
That's a wicked question. It's a brilliant question.
Isn't that brilliant question?
It's brilliant.
Come from a colleague in America, believe it or not, yeah? And they wonder why some of these guys that I'm talking to in America are earning $5,000 a wedding there with no gear. That doesn't include gear. That's just for them to turn up and compare your wedding.
It's the way your friend said in the bar.
I want a piece of that.
It's the way your friend said in the bar, because he named himself. I'm a wedding host, and a normal British guy would say I'm a wedding. But because the way you position, see, it's the positioning. That's sales and marketing. You have positioned yourself. And people, this is what frustrates me, Roger, because there's so much talent, there's so much will, there's so much strength that people want to go do the work. But you don't realize that the ability to position in the customer's mind eye doesn't take money. You know, maybe the gear and stuff, it just takes sales and markets to understand that there's a different way to customer to look at you. Like, you say no to customers if they ask the price. I say the same thing.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, there's nothing wrong with it.
I know that, to be honest with you, if they're only interested in the price, they will never ever book me.
Yeah. So why waste your time?
You know
I totally agree.
You know, I've been charging 4 figures now for about 5 years, okay? And I was actually revamping the website the other day, and I thought, look, putting another testimonial. And I remember there's a guy, I could give you his name, but I won't. But one of the grooms left me a testimonial saying, you might not think you need this guy, but trust me, you will. Because his investment in our wedding was immense.
Investment.
He represents tremendous value for money. Yeah, right. I cannot believe he does what he does for the money he charges. And this guy paid me 4 figures, man, just for Toastmaster and DJ, and that wasn't the celebrant bit, right? But he just, at the end of the day, he said to me, well, in fairness, I met his bride first and her mum. She came back 6 months later with him, and it was a typical arms folded, you're not going to sell me anything, yeah?
Yeah.
And at the end of that first interview, he said to me, I can't believe you can do all that for the money you just quoted. Which was, 4 figures plus, right? So, and I said, well, I will not only deliver that, I'll over-deliver.
And that's a beautiful thing.
I haven't quite gone down the road yet. One of my new mentors in DJ world actually offers a money-back guarantee.
That's the thing I say.
I don't trust people. I don't trust people enough to do that, because I know I can say, no, I didn't like it, just give me money back. But it's
it is a hard call, and that is a hard call. I can never recommend it or not recommend it. That's individual, because in our senses, how can you say if what's been not? I say to people, a guarantee can help in a sense. We'll guarantee if we don't turn up on time. Do you know what I mean? Or these little added value. But this is something.
But I'm not recommending anybody starting off in business says I do a money back guarantee, because you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. You're always going to make mistakes. But the trick is to learn from your mistakes and learn how to handle those moments in a day where maybe things aren't going the way that you want them to go. And that comes with experience, Onkar, as you know. I'm very lucky. I love being trained. Ever since I left school, I love attending training courses. I love learning new stuff.
Same here.
I love learning old stuff. You know what I mean? One of my mentors back in 2008, 2009, he was saying at the time, I remember he got absolutely slated by the DJ industry, that for a DJ to run his DJ as a business, paying the tax and all that, you had to charge a minimum of £450 a gig, whether it was a wedding or a karaoke show on a Tuesday night. Okay, well, you can imagine what the dinosaurs did to him. Yeah, but and I sat down. He came to one of a DJ meeting I was attending, and he came up with all the old sales cliches, and I'm thinking, oh God, come on, have you heard that? You heard that from Ford Motor Company back in 1979. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then all of a sudden he said to me, oh, he didn't say to me, he said in the room, I bet if I go on your website, you are a specialist karaoke DJ, a specialist kids party DJ, a specialist wedding DJ, a specialist house DJ, a specialist nightclub. How can you specialize in 5 different things? And I thought, oh my goodness, he must have seen my website. Because mine was, I specialize in weddings, karaoke, kids. Within 24 hours, I had my first wedding-only website. Yeah? And then I can remember the first time I asked a couple for 4 figures. Yeah? I'll never forget it. And this is, I struggle. Everybody talks about finding your avatar, don't they now? That's the new buzzword. I love you gurus. Yeah? Find your avatar. Who's your ideal client? Yeah? And I actually really struggle with that, because the first person to pay me 4 figures was a bus driver. Yeah? And his partner. And they paid me 4 figures because she was the most nervous bride ever. Yeah? They were an older couple. Yeah? And I'll never forget, I quoted them a price. And at the time, I said, if you go onto my website, because I used to do all that as well, I used to have prices on the website. And if you do the menu pricing, that was coming out, at the time, it was coming out 1,300 quid. I said, but I'll call it £1,000, okay? And I said to them, I was so nervous, I said, oh, I got to ask £1,000, I can't believe this. I tell you what, go for a coffee first and have a think about it. That's why I'm sending them away. Right? Yeah. They came back, walked back into my room and said, yeah, we'll go for that. I said, do you know what? I like you so much, I gave them 30% off, Onkar. I did it for 700 quid. Yeah? Yeah. And when I got home that night, I thought, you didn't need to do that, Rog. You didn't need to do it. The buy-in signals they were quite happy to pay, 1,300 quid. I'd already given them 300 quid. So in fact, I gave them, 600 quid off. That was the last time.
I was gonna hope it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna hope it was. But we all been there, Rog. We've been there. It's hard.
I got so excited that I was going to get it. Do you know what I mean? And that's when I discovered that I could get this, what I call wow money in the DJ world. And I didn't have to go to London for it. Let's be honest, if you live in Wales, you're brought up, it's all paid in gold. I mean, we believe in Dick Whittington, don't we? Yeah? If you want money, you've got to go to London. You've got to go home counties. You know what I mean? You've got to go to Sussex, whatever. And I had just assumed that to get this money, I'd have to travel all over the country. That first £700 gig, the £1,000 gig, was 10 minutes from my doorstep. In a venue that don't even do weddings. Yeah? They just got a function room. It was the smallest amount of DJ gear I'd used in 10 years. And these guys paid me, what they thought they would pay me £1,000. Yeah? And I'm just like, I'm blown away. So now I go out less times a year, but I'm probably earning the same as some guys doing 3, 4, 5 nights a week.
Easy, mate. And
it's not always about buying the next bit of kit. It's like...
It's the position.
I take my hat off to these young DJs. There are a lot of, especially in Wales, you've got some really entrepreneurial DJs in Wales. I'm really proud of them because it's Welsh, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's be honest. We lead the world when it comes to sales and marketing. And they've taken advantage. But they have gone out and invested in the dance floors, the giant love letters, the bouncy castles, all that. It's all come too late for me. You know what I mean? I could not spend 3 hours on my hands and knees fitting the floor.
Yeah.
So I have to come up with something different. Yeah? So therefore, what I do allows me not to compete with people who, in my opinion, can do the job better. Mm. There are guys out there now at 14 who are technically better DJs than me.
Yeah.
I know that. But they'll never earn 4 figures as long as they got their own in their arse. Because last year I actually decided I needed some help. And I found a guy, I call him a waka waka DJ, CDJs, headphones on, looking down, yeah? But he wanted to, he needed some work. So I gave him some work. And I was paying him, let's just say, upwards of £50 a gig, just to help me put my gear in and take it down at night. Didn't have to do any of the work, right? He was a DJ, so I'd let him play a few tunes or whatever, yeah? He would then say to me, well, I can't do next Saturday, Rog, because I'm going to drive from Yeovil to Bournemouth, hour and a half, because I've got the last hour in a nightclub in Bournemouth. 5 a.m. till 6 a.m., 30 quid.
Fucking insane.
I said, what? Hang on, I'm paying you like 50, 60 quid, and you're finishing at 12. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, I can't. How can I ever convince you? Do you know what I mean? I got to be honest. He left. He's gone back to London to live now. Well, I don't think he. I don't think he's still going down to Bournemouth for 30 quid. He's travelling from London to Bournemouth. But sometimes. But his answer to me was, yeah, but I love it, man. I said, yeah, I understand it. You're a nightclub DJ and you want to be a producer and all that nonsense. Yeah. But I think it's nonsense because I don't understand it. I suppose I'm technically not good enough. But I wouldn't even go down my corner shop for 30 quid, man. You know what I mean? Well, I have done it.
It's the mentality.
You've got to learn from your mistakes.
One, you got to learn from your mistakes. I mean, Rog, this is just absolute gold. People, I hope
you've got to set out your stall. You've got to decide what your stall is and set your stall out.
Yeah.
If you want to work... let's get away from the DJ stuff. If you are a wedding photographer, I can tell you another story. I've got another friend, wedding photographer, has been doing it since film days, right? Yeah? He always tells me he was an apprentice photographer. Right? And his job was, because they couldn't use digital cameras, they had film, you only get one chance to get the shot right. His job was to go and pin the wedding dress down in the right position for the photographer, right? So that's how experienced this guy is, right? I was at a dinner with him, funny enough, last week, Ah, yeah, Rog. And he's coming up to 70 years of age, right? He's been telling me he's going to retire the last 10 years. He won't retire. He's like me. He'll never stop, right? But, yeah. My midweek price now, Rog, is 200 quid. So what? You do a wedding with 200 quid? He said, oh, yeah, but it's only like ceremony up to the speeches. Okay, and it's midweek, Rod, it's 200 quid net. I said, but Lionel, you've got 50 years experience.
How much money is that worth?
£5,000 for his last Canberra. I said, well, you're not running a business line, are you? Yeah? But he's also he sent me, like me, he came from the truck business, truck industry. Yeah. Or commercial vehicles, if you want to be posh. He's still selling trucks. I said, well, Lionel, if you just charge 400 quid for midweek, you would not do the truck job. you know?
Do you know what I mean? That's what this is the whole... Oh.
My funeral business is, I've got to be honest, is personally the most rewarding thing I do. Financially, it's the cheapest end of what I do. But it stops me having to think, I need to go and do a quiz. I need to go and, a quiz night in a pub. I've got another friend who's doing that. Some of these pubs are paying him £40 to do a 4-hour quiz. I think you'd be better off stacking shelves in Tesco's, mate. Do you know what I mean? I bet you've got staff in your hotel getting £9 an hour, mate.
Well, it's near enough. It's getting near enough that now anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's to
I'm saying, so you're only earning £1. Yeah, with all due respect, you're earning £1 more than a 16-year-old carrying trays of food. Sorry, I'm worth more than that. And that's you've got to find out what your worth is.
I think that's the biggest thing out of all this. From what I'm hearing in here is people don't value themselves, so value yourself and find out what your worth is. I mean, your friend who's a photographer for 50 years knows the ins and outs, the whole thing, and he's positioned himself at 200. He says from speeches to from ceremony to speeches, that's probably about 5-6 hours. So if he's doing that, I'm working out calculations in my head because I'm just absolutely, doing I'm crap in maths, So he's £33 an hour.
Yeah. But that doesn't include all the editing time.
No, exactly. That's my point. For a photographer, £33 an hour. Are you insane?
Yeah.
Because what they do is I done a blog post recently, or I done the thing. People commoditize themselves the same pricing strategy as a supermarket. If a guy's £10, you go for £9. And if they go, I go 8. You are not a supermarket. You are not a commodity.
You hit the nail on the head there. One of the earliest things I learned when I decided that I was going to I wanted to get to the top tier of the wedding cake, right?
Yeah.
You've got to stop mentally using the word commodity.
You're not a commodity.
Because a commodity is always based on price.
Yeah, it is. Always will be.
But you're not. But the majority of people in the wedding industry are, I actually call it the cottage industry commodities. Yeah? Oh, look, I'm really good at baking a cake. I can do the icing. I can do some sugar craft. I'll pay 300 quid to go on a course to learn how to do the sugar craft. And then I'll do my cakes for 30 quid. What is the point of that?
I don't understand.
I've got another lady who was part of my wedding room team. We haven't touched on that, but she is a lecturer at the local college on baking and sugar craft. And she says to me, I've got to compete with people because they're undercutting me. I said, but you taught most of them. I said, when you're on a wedding fair, I don't care about your cakes. What I want to see is award-winning cake lady, baker to the Queen. She made a cake for the Queen on a visit to Somerset.
Hold on, she doesn't even put that in the marketing.
She doesn't even do that. She just goes along like every other cake lady, puts half a dozen cakes up, and then negotiates on price.
Oh my God, I feel sick. She baked for the Queen, and she hasn't got that up, and she doesn't put that in the thing, and she's trying to undercut. Raj, I feel sick. Sorry, man.
Yeah, but she says to me, but that was years ago. I said, what? But you can still get the picture, can't you? I
God.
said, you don't need the royal seal of approval. I said, because most of the brides wouldn't even understand what that is. A picture of you cutting your cake for the Queen, I was very fortunate. A friend of mine got me a Toastmaster gig with a celebrity. I did her wedding. If I mention the name, it's a bit. I got so much publicity out of that, and I still get people coming up now, 4 years later, saying, "You did Mel Sykes' wedding, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I did. It only lasted 6 months, but I did the wedding." Yeah, it's only managed for 6 months.
But my God, it's Rog. I mean, there's gold. People don't realise. Loads of people, when a mentor sit down with them and say, "Look, I got this award." Hold on, you done a celebrity. Where the hell is it on your website? Where's it on your brochure? Where's it on your opening statement? Oh God, Rog. I feel sick for that lady who done the Queen.
And also, it's like with me, Onkar, I said,
£700. People would pay. This is what I don't understand, Rog. Straight away, I say you could charge £700 because people would say, "You know that cake? She's the same lady who done it for the Queen." How many people want to
sell the snob factor? You sell snob factor. I don't care what you say. Everybody wants to do a wedding better than the last wedding they went to.
They do.
Every bride.
Listen,
and some of them are capable of paying the money.
Look, listen.
Not all of them.
There's not. It's always a bit scarce at the top, but the whole point being is, you know what I say, my 10 steps is, there's I call it the free brides. There's look, listen, I want it cheap as possible. Can you do that, bride? There's the bride who's the DIY bride, who knows all the prices, who's dreamt of it and done it, so she knows it. And here's the bank of mum and dad. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
I want all that.
Yeah.
And you just have to, because I say you have to discriminate in your marketing. You could say, "Look, listen, I love how you do it straight away from a business point of view. Not because you don't want to do the wedding. Just look, listen, I'm worth this value. You're not valuing me. There's nothing wrong with that. We can't do business. No problems. I shake hand. I know someone else who can do it there. But if you want to pay for me, which I'm worth several £100, or 4 figures, thousands of pounds, then I'm more than happy, and you get me all this time."
Yeah.
Oh, Rog, I can't.
Onkar, I'm really fortunate. I consider myself really, really fortunate because I stumbled upon the Love Shack idea. Okay, it's not original. There is actually another disco shed out there.
It's not about originality, George. It's about doing it.
But what that does is, I know that can only go out one Saturday to one wedding.
Simple as.
And so now I'm saying this again. My opening gambit. I know this is unique. It's the only one in the world because I hand built it. Yeah? So I started using that now. Okay, I bought a market stall and I clad it full of timber, mate. That's what I've done. Yeah, I don't hide that fact. In fact, version 2 actually shows some of the frame. But it's like, but I had the market stall. I invested in the market stall by speaking to the company, said I want it made to this size, blah, 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 blah. But when that's up, nobody can say I've got exactly the same looking show as Roger. Now, my other disco shows, in my opinion, look like every other DJ in the market. Yeah? We use the Lycra scrims. But it's the way you paint the picture. Yeah? It's the way you describe it.
And that's the thing, man. It's like you make a story. Marketing is about creating a story, creating a presence. When you have meetings with them, you sit in them. There's a whole series of things, but it's not that hard. But the biggest thing before you can do all that is literally know your worth, and it's a confidence issue. Look, what's the worst thing that can happen? They say no. Okay, then you go back, retest it, and do it again. Look, to everyone who's watching this, please repeat and watch this video. Listen to Roger's words, because I can't express it. This is when I met him and his confidence and stuff. But look, listen, yes, that's 40 years, but you don't have to go for 40 years to do what Roger's done. You can know your worth, go into the market, stick to your guns, make sure you over-deliver, make sure you do it better than the rest, be technically good. Me and Roger were the very same, and like, we hate people who just, not very good and start charging stupid prices. We've seen it. I don't like it.
No, yeah.
You have to be more than it is. But please understand.
For 35 years, I was undervalued.
35 years.
As a DJ. It's only the last 5 years I've discovered, and that's because I really invested in time of travelling to meetings with other DJs, and I set up a DJ group with another friend of mine, and we used to get 48 DJs meeting once a month. Yeah, you cannot help but get some nuggets out of that. You'll meet an awful lot of dinosaurs, yeah, which is probably why I don't attend those meetings anymore, because my patience now, I think I get my old age, I can't be bothered. But, you know, I do drive up to the DJ meeting in the next week, yeah? Because I know when I get into that room, 75% of the DJs are charging 4 figures. Yeah?
Yeah.
I've got a DJ colleague in London, has just he's actually just trained as a celebrant, right? He came to see me. He drove all the way down to London to ask me about my advice on a funeral celebrant. And I was talking to him about his DJ business, and he has now said to his brides booking him for next year that the only package available on a Saturday is his 2,500 package. You either book him a wedding bonus seat there, or he's not available. Because he has discovered he wants to spend more time with his daughter. The most powerful motivator ever. He said, so you will not just go out on a Saturday night and do a disco. He now only gets, so in other words, he only has to do 2 weddings a month to earn the same money.
That's insane.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. But as he said, Rod, it's you know, you've got to swallow hard. He said, but out of the people, and these are people who've already booked him at 1,200 quid, man. He's gone back to them. He said, I've lost him because they've done such a good selling job on him. Yeah. Or presented such a great picture of what he could do for them. They just said, yeah, okay, we'll pay you the extra 1,300 quid or whatever it is because we want you to do our wedding.
That's a man who's got, I would say, competence. Let's just put it.
I hate him, Onkar. I hate him. He's my antichrist. He's a vegetarian. Doesn't eat meat. Skinny, good looking, but he's just. But again, what he did, Onkar, he has spent the last 5 years investing in himself. He's gone to America for training. He's gone to every training session. There was the biggest European DJ show was in September. He did a talk about his experiences. He will be the next DJ guru. Yeah, I know he will. I bet he's got a book in the making. But to make himself a better wedding host, he attended Toastmaster International, which is a speaking group. Yeah. And he's saying, Roger, it helps me no end because I know how to write a script. And I said, well, that's what you're doing. You're adding that value.
Hi guys, sorry for the abrupt end of that video without any sign up from Roger, but it got pretty bad with Skype towards the end, and it sounded like a robot coming towards the end. But that shouldn't really matter because the last hour that you've been watching that video has just been pure gold. I hope you has been for you as well as for me. I mean, the things that resonated that Roger kept going on about was the fact that understanding your own value. I mean, it took, as you said, Roger, over 30 odd years to understand his value. Now in the wedding industry, in the DJ section that he does of his numerous jobs, he gets over 4 figures for wedding DJs that many of you are there and some of you know, others, that's unheard of. And the fact that he can be able to do that demonstrates the power of his competence, demonstrates the power of his value and the way that he set up his marketing. And it can happen for you if you understand your value, your worth. Sometimes people think that by coming in at the bottom, you build yourself up. Yes, there needs to be experience. Me and Roger talked about that. But at the end of the day, you don't, as Roger said, you don't have to wait on 30 odd years to realize that. You can understand your worth and understand that there are a heck of a lot of wedding brides and grooms who are willing to pay that much. And also the fact is that Roger diversified into other areas just shows great business practice about having others and products and services that could be a bolt-on to your existing product and service. They may come to him for a wedding DJ, but he then does the upsells of the celebrant, but mostly Toastmaster as well. He's not just looked at the wedding industry. In fact, he's looked at the funeral industry as well, which also needs products and services even for that sad time to do it. So Roger has diversified. He is a very unique, I mean, how can you not love Roger and his energy and his thing? Because Roger understands as well as I do that I keep banging on to everyone through my clients and mentors, to the people that I mentor, is people don't buy the product and service, they buy you in the end, especially in the wedding industry. Me being in very many industries, from restaurants to hotels to property, I understand that people do sell, but it's not prevailing more than anything than in the wedding industry. So at the end of the day, look back at the video again. This is for free. This is to help you understand that sometimes it doesn't matter about how technically good you are. It's absolutely super important, don't get me wrong, but the biggest factor that sometimes doesn't give people the money that they want is because they don't value themselves and think, I can't get there. Roger gave perfect examples of people that he knows that say, I can't get that amount of money, or they won't charge for that. At the end of the day, what was really important was that they had lost before they even started. Are you saying that? Are you saying to yourself, there's no way no one's going to pay that money? Well, Roger's in one of the most competitive industries within the wedding industry, wedding DJ, and he gets 4 figures. How is that? Because one of the main things was he understood his value. I can't express that enough. But at the end of the day, his mindset and his confidence knew. He talked about how nervous he was going for the first prize when he did, and he dropped it. But he knew he didn't have to. It does take guts. It does take a lot of courage to do that. But you have to get over that hurdle. It's not the client problem, it's your problem. And that is something that is stopping you from making a successful wedding business. It's by understanding what your worth is. Look, you are not a charity, and if you really want to make success of your wedding business, you cannot make this a hobby. If you want to make it a hobby and carry on with the great job that you do, and you do it, and you just do it at the love of just doing it, fine. But if you want to turn it into a full-fledged wedding business, an absolute business, then you have to get over that and understand you have to charge for your value. You have to deliver what you give. You have to deliver what you say. But at the end of the day, you have to deliver value as well as for yourself and for the bride. There's no good being in the wedding industry if you're going to be busting 6 months and you couldn't sustain the cost of everything because you didn't price right. I can't express this even more, and I'm very passionate about it when I go across to people who I know. 90% of people that I start off and coaching and helping when they raise their game is the fact that they don't price right. Okay? Sometimes looking at the whole industry doesn't help. What do you think your worth is? What's your innovation? Look at Roger's Love Shack. Look at his, he started from a shed, but he's made it different and it's absolutely unique. Have a look at innovations like that, a sweet tweak of something adding £700 to your product or service is so innovative, so different, that could jump your price up. It doesn't take a lot of equipment or a lot of money to make those things, to think, what is the different? Because the key question is this, that you'd always ask yourself when dealing with a bride and think what is in their mind. What makes your service or product better than anyone else? Imagine a bride asks you that. What is the reason I should buy you versus any other option that is available to me? And if you're going to repeat the same thing as what your bride has gone to see their competitors, then you're not going to stand there and get the money. So ask that question. Roger's asked himself that question, hence the reason that when he comes to the Love Shack, his technical abilities, but his confidence, is likable as well. I mean, who just, as I said before, what a guy. And at the end of the day, he adds on bolt-on services where he makes additional money because he knows he can only do one wedding. Several people want to make it into several chains of other things like I do. But at the same time, when you're starting off or you just want to keep it yourself, that's fine. But you can only be in one place at the same time. Is there any product or additionally that you can scope to sell within different services that industry? Have you ever thought about it? Is there something that's easy for the bride to say yes to? Because at the end of the day, if they sold your first product and the most reason is because they bought off you, then it's going to be very easy to sell a second product that could be addition that they needed, hopefully they haven't bought it from somewhere else, and they know that they can get it from you because they brought it into you. Okay, I really can't express thank you so much to Roger for giving that nugget. If you want to know more about Roger, then the link is just below, and whatever platform you are watching this, then at the end of the day there will be a link to his site and you can go see Roger for himself. Thank you to Roger, and thank you to you for watching this video. I hope Wedding Entrepreneur Academy will always be there to help wedding entrepreneurs understand the power of sales and marketing and how much of a difference it can make for your wedding business. This is Onkar, and as always, be adventurous.